Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name is Rich Tarani. Thanks for watching us today. We're at Interop 2011 in Las Vegas. On our program's Kyle Forrester, the co-founder of Big Switch Networks. Welcome, Kyle. How are you?
Thank you, Rich. I'm doing well. This is an exciting show.
Yeah, it's your coming out party, isn't it?
It's a coming out party for OpenFlow. I think what you find is that a large number of vendors have been working on OpenFlow for a while, are using this as the opportunity to first show their products out live in the field.
So tell us a little bit about OpenFlow.
Sure. OpenFlow is an exciting technology for us. It's, it started about 3 years ago, really as a research technology. And the last 12 months has really matured, I think, into a big commercial opportunity. It originally started at Stanford University. There are now actually, about 25 vendors that have joined the Open Networking Foundation. 13 of whom are represented actually in the booth just over in the other corner here with live working product. If you look at what it does, there's the OpenFlow protocol itself, which is, we think about it a little bit like the x86 instruction set. It's tightly defined. It doesn't do a whole lot by itself, but it's nice, very minimalistic, very, very clean, and it runs in between an Ethernet switch and a server.
Okay.
Now, if you look at what people are doing with that, right, we call the OpenFlow architecture, a large number of vendors sort of building things that, to us for networking, this is a networking equivalent of the x86 instruction set, plus Linux, plus all these software applications, plus even programming languages on top, so people can extend the technology in different ways. So for us, it's a pretty exciting evolution path, we really think, of networking becoming a little bit less like the mainframe, and a little bit more like what we think of as today's server industry.
What does it do for those who implement it?
There are three things. When I talk to customers, there are basically three things that OpenFlow can do that traditional networking either can't do or it's basically can't do in a very practical sense. Those three are, first of all, network virtualization is a hot topic. Right? Obviously, it's what, to be honest, is what most of our customers really start down the path that really brings them to OpenFlow. They're looking for some sort of solution for a network virtualization problem that they have. Us as a vendor, that's probably where we sort of focus more in on OpenFlow than most. The second piece is advanced forwarding. Now, OpenFlow for networking, we don't actually use spanning tree. Most of the vendors involved in OpenFlow, in an OpenFlow architecture, we're seeing the state of the art doesn't use spanning tree. We can handle very different network topologies, things like fat tree topologies that you see for Hadoop buildouts. We can handle some pretty interesting new topologies that we would see in campus LAN environments. We can handle topologies that deal with, with server virtualization in graceful and elegant ways, where traditional networking was really never built for server virtualization. These two don't play well together. With OpenFlow Advanced Forwarding, we can really fix that. And the third piece is programmability. A lot of, especially the early adopters of OpenFlow, are looking to get a solution from vendors, but they're also looking for, if they have a particular need here, a particular need there, the ability to either bring in a vendor for this niche area, or even to build it out themselves. So it's those three pieces. There's the virtualization piece, network virtualization, right. There's advanced forwarding, and there's programmability.
Tell me about the advanced forwarding. Why will that help a company?
There are a series of networking problems that are extraordinarily difficult to solve with traditional means. The first, and really some of the really early adopters of OpenFlow who started going down this path 2.5 years ago, really had this problem with fat tree topologies. Okay, rather than a traditional network diagram, looks a lot like a tree. You have sort of one layer of switches, another layer of switches, and then a router. Now, if you have huge bandwidth needs across servers that might be far away from each other, which you would see in sort of big data applications, right? In a large-scale Hadoop build as common ones. Rather than a tree, you really want something that looks more like a grid of switches sitting in between each other. A fat tree, it's called. Those types of architectures work very well. OpenFlow makes those types of architectures work very well. The second piece is with virtual machines. You wind up having servers that move far faster than, okay, I unplug a cable here, I move it across the rack, and I plug a new cable in here. You wind up having servers that move almost instantaneously, and the volume of servers that are moving around suddenly is a huge challenge for traditional networking, where every time a server moves, you sort of log into a switch and you do a reconfiguration. With advanced forwarding, we can basically help packets find virtual machines even as they move around in a data center or between data centers. As you see the transition
it's more efficient.
It's much more efficient. And as you see the transition from data center to private cloud, this sort of ethos of self-service and in many ways delegated administration. Traditional networking folks say, okay, I want a private cloud. They go down the compute virtualization path, and we see with a lot of customers we talk to, they stumble over the networking side because they realize the network is just, there's this great quote from James Hamilton, actually, the network is in my way. That's usually when we find people on our doorstep.
So the rollout is here, the coming out party is here.
Yeah.
What do you think companies should do to learn more? If they're on the edge of saying, okay, I may need to know about this, what do they do?
I think the most exciting part about OpenFlow is the amount of traditional networking vendors who are embracing it as a standard. So step one is asking the vendor for whom you rely on for switching, ask them what their plans are for OpenFlow, because in many cases, they're actually doing something about it. Step two, there are a series of industry consortia that are starting out. And step three, at a place like this, you can come to specialists, kind of, folks like us, right, Big Switch Networks, where we're really specialists in this area, and we can help map out a strategy there that includes, a series of products from across the ecosystem. A lot of what we do right now is more consultative help, in addition to our product. So it's helping people figure out what their strategy around some of these problems is really going to be.
And how big a company do you need to be? Or that's probably not the right question. Are there a certain number of servers inside the data center that you need to have to be a viable candidate?
We're certainly, I think OpenFlow started in the super large data centers, the million server, right, or million MAC address really types. We think that there are opportunities, going forward, we think there are going to be opportunities in the commercial sort of, okay, I have sort of 3 to 4 racks of equipment. We think right now the sweet spot is sort of the large-scale enterprise that's sort of a little bit in between. They're large enough that they run a private cloud and they're starting to run a private cloud and a sophisticated operation of it. They have a central IT team and application-level IT teams. That's usually where we start. As soon as we see that org chart start to emerge, that's usually where we see network virtualization, private cloud architecture start to emerge. And really that's where we see people start to get interested in something like OpenFlow and the things that we're doing about it.
Very exciting. Thanks for coming on the program today.
Hey, thank you, Rich.
Great to meet you.